A family is the best unit of society and it plays a very vital role in the development of its members. In Africa, we say a family is a group of descendants with a similar or a common ancestor. Elsewhere, they say a family is a group of people who are either related by blood or marriage. And for some other organizations like the mafias, they may say a family is a group of people with a common goal. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Engineers Corner podcast. And if you're interested in anything concerning business, anything concerning construction, this is the right place for you. And today we are back with our panelists. For those of you who don't know them, we are back with our engineer. He has gotten a number of years in the engineering field. He has done very many projects. He has worked for very many organizations. He has also invested in real estate. I would like him to first introduce himself.
My name is Timothy Asime once again. Thank you so much for hosting me on the Engineers Corner podcast. This year I make 10 years in the industry of construction, real estate, consultancy, and helping different families in developing their wealth. In this field, you do a lot with families, individuals, and different organizations. And I've seen a lot of people come for our services who have gone from 0 to 100 million, some to 1 billion, some who have improved their businesses. So after 10 years, we have something to share. That's why we usually come and share our experiences of different people we have met in this journey of construction, consultants, and real estate. So I'll be grateful for the knowledge I will share. It can help someone move a step or start a journey that can transform his family or his life. Thank you so much.
And on the other hand, we are having a very experienced architect. He has done various contracts. He has done very many projects. Have you ever seen an architect who designed an international football field? You guys, you don't know. So today we are having our architect. I would like him to introduce himself.
Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be back on the Engineers Corner. My name is Akankwasa Haman. I'm an architect. I've amassed experience of close to a decade in projects that sustainable projects in building residences, schools, commercial projects, and give back community projects. So I'm very happy to be here to share my experience, and I'm so honored to be to share with you what we have really learned over time that we have been in the field. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, our podcast is with we call them what? Experts. They are experts in this field. So if you're there and you're interested, or you have any question from the conversation we shall have, please write your comment. Write the question you have in the comment section. We shall be there to answer you. Please subscribe, share, and follow for more. So engineer, today we are having a very interesting topic to talk about. That is family and investment. We've seen in Africa, we are having issues of investing as a family. We want to see today how could we best use a family to our advantage so as to grow, so as to develop. As I said in the beginning, it is the best unit of society and it helps its individuals to grow. So what would be your view of a working formula? Let me call it a formula of how could a family work together so as to invest.
So basically, if you can start with family and investment, one, I believe that for any community to develop, there must be a transformation that starts with an individual who grows into a family, then you have got a community, then it grows into maybe a council to a district, then we have a nation. So if a nation is going to grow, the thing that we have to focus on is how do families grow. So I totally believe that if we are going to grow our families, especially here in Africa where we are, there must be that philosophy that must be built in the family. Most families I have met or have seen do not have philosophies. A philosophy is something you take to be right. What is your right thing as a family? What is the business core that a family holds on? What do you believe in to be right? So most families do not have a clear philosophy on investment that they follow. Because I've worked with very many families. I've seen families that believe in business. I've seen families that believe in employment. Like even if you finish, they tell you to be successful, you must have a job. I've seen many families of that caliber.
Yes.
Actually, they ask you, what job do you have? If you start a business, they consider it to be a failure. So I've seen very many families with that philosophy. I've seen families that believe that they can do business and grow. That is the philosophy that is there. So tentatively, I believe that the beginning part of you to grow or develop our country, we should have a philosophy that is embedded in a family that is for investment, that is for growth, that is for development, so that we have high productivity at individual level starting from the family. Because much of the problems we have maybe as a country is that most of us are not so productive to our potential.
Yes.
And that can be handled if we could be able to have a philosophy of investment in the family. So that is something me I would zero on if you are going to have growth or starting to have something good coming from the family level. What's the philosophy about investment
In the
that the family has?
Yes.
So if we can handle that, then we are now having where to start from.
Okay. All right. Engineer, what would be your take on that?
Well, that's a very interesting topic. Family, I look at it as one of the things that would introduce one to the world, and the way if we are connecting it to what we are talking about, it like engineer was saying, what philosophy is there? Though me, I would look at it this way, that different families have different things instilled inside them. Like here in Africa, there are people who are born in families where in history they are hunters. So I would use that background if you have it. If someone used that as a hunter, let the hunting instinct stay within, because you have it in your DNA. For example, if you trying to understand family, where does this idea come up from? Family, if you go deep, science has its own story, even faith and what has its own story. But since most of the people, mainly in the environments we are in, they believe in something, I would say this is something that was maybe God's idea. But why I'm bringing this on table is to help us understand what identifies us. One of the things that identifies you as a person is your family, and now it comes with your identity. It comes with how your behavior traits, and it comes with how you handle things. So basically, sometimes as time has grown and things have evolved, even families are evolving. So having a philosophy, and okay, I call it the traits that define you as your family. It can help you. For example, let me give an example of myself. In our family, God has gifted us with things. Like we have the bit of art in us. So I don't struggle with doing things with a hand, but it is something that you know that it is inside in there. You look into your uncles and they were doing this. You look into your what. So the question here to myself would be that now how would I use this gift to improve other areas? How would I use, for example, that gift of being with the gift of being able to create things in my mind and then do them and they manifest? How do I use that gift in all areas of life? So if you look at it that way, I feel this unit of family becomes more stronger if you know who you are. It is about the identity. It identifies you in the world.
All right. So you've talked of something about behavior traits, and I've just remembered some of us want to be unruly. Some of us want to be unruly. Where we are finding some family members are trying to block other family members, so as they don't invest, also as they don't make any working business. What would be your perception on such kind of people in a family? Because we are looking at a group of people who are related, who would want to invest.
Yes.
We are having different types of families, the nuclear families, the extended families. Now, let's first look at a family as a family generally, where we are having all the nuclear families and the extended family.
Yes.
And here it is common in an extended family, whereby you're finding some of its members are trying to block others.
Yes.
And sometimes it is as a result of properties that were left to them by their parents. Others, it is because of maybe having the same business and they are in close proximity to each other. So what would be your take on such kind of people, or in such kind of a scenario?
In such kind of a scenario, it's good you've talked about mainly land and what. Like I was saying, family being a sense of belonging. One thing we forget is that if you're in a family, you're not supposed to be taking off. You are supposed to be adding on. That's why you're in a family, you get a wife, you add on children, you amass wealth, you add on yourself. All great families grow that way. The reason why you see one of the most successful people in the world, when you check, there are people who have a unit of family that is strong, and they build upon that for the next generations. So I find it as these small fights that come in, they're there, they really happen. Of course, even me, I'm also a victim. I've ever been in such whereby we were in a scenario in inheritance things where you find people fighting and find brothers, they want to kill each other because of land. So I think when we start understanding the values of the family, when you start understanding the core values, I'm talking about core values of a family, when you start understanding the strength people have when they unite. You see, when let me share this. When one of the structures that was found mainly in Africa that is unbreakable is the family. It's the family structure. So the world out there that wants to go ahead would look at breaking that structure. Yet it is the strength that we carry. All these big business families, you will see that there is one thing they have kept: the legacy of the family, the philosophy has stayed still. Why? Because this introduction person who became great introduced them to the arena of the great, and they stay there. When for example, if you're from a family maybe of some of the great businessmen in our country. You've heard of the Luparelia group of families. You have heard of the Mukwano family. All these, they unite together. Now, the other side of it, people who are breaking their families, I don't think they would be that very great. Reason being is that there's no togetherness, there's no philosophy. There are many families that don't have any philosophy. They don't have any direction. You just grow into this family, and if life doesn't help you to understand that being together would help protect the values of the family and increase it. Now, for example, like now in our field, the field of real estate construction, like I told you, a family, people in the family build it, they don't break it. But society has been through areas where we are breaking these things, and that's how you find it very hard to see someone who is great. That's how you find some people becoming heroes. But it is I can look at it in a way that if people unite together as a family, it is easier to go through. It is really easy to go through.
Engineer, what would be your view on people who are trying to block family members from amassing wealth and investment?
No, sometimes there are things I've learned in life that are so deep. For example, I've tried to study different people and found out that 100 years from now, none of us will be around.
Yeah.
So you can imagine 2100. No one is going to be what? No one is going to be around.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you find people who are trying to put other people down, they are just selfish on a short run. You're not going to live forever. And a family is the continuation of your lineage. This is the only way you can be there. The only way maybe I can be there 2100 is maybe my grandkids. You can imagine.
Yes.
So if families are fighting, it means they are going to have a short run, because jealousy is going to be there. There'll be no unity, so they cannot go to the next generation. So I tentatively believe that people who are in a family should have long-term goals. They should focus on how their family can live for the next century. How can they live for the next 3 centuries? Because we have seen families that have transitioned through centuries. I give an example like the Rockefeller family in America, the men who built America. Their grandchildren were there and they're recognized, and the wealth for their parents is still there, and they are preserved it.
Yes.
But these people were there in the 18th century, but now up to now 20th century they are there. So these people, they learned how to preserve families as a value for continuity. So I believe that people who are in the family, we should not be selfish on the short-term run. You are not going to live forever. There is life after we have gone. So let's always prepare for those who are coming, and we make this world a better place. That would be my take about that.
But for me, I believe Uganda bamu tebabitegeera yajja kutema munne Zambia because of something that I now see. Because if you talk of 100 years from now, I see it as something that is temporary.
Yes.
Kati otema munno akantu just kogenda okuba mu myaka 2. I don't think it is
By
right.
the way, Sichipia, like way back in history, even the first family God was trying to create, you see a brother kill another brother because they didn't know how to worship. So there is, I believe there is always something that will come to break, but when it finds a unit, it can't break it. So the selfishness will come in that side where if for example, most of the time families in Uganda, specifically here, they don't know how to deal with success. If I become very successful, one of the questions I have to answer to my village mates is
How?
if I don't go in water, togenda mu
How?
nyanja, how did you make
How did
it?
you manage?
Instead of,
Yes.
you get,
Yes.
so even the questions they ask,
Even they
you
can't
were
believe.
nothing, how can you be when for us your cousins are still
And
here?
they are struggling,
So
yeah.
so that will be there, but if people were they strengthen their unit as a family and understand that you're not going to extend to the next generation by fighting your brother, but to learn how they have done things and get on it. That's the most humble way someone can get to learn.
Engineer talked of something that was so interesting, that is the philosophy. I would like you to try to explain more about that. What philosophy do these families that have made it have that we are not having as Africans? A good example would be the Mkwanos. What philosophy do they have that us, the blacks, don't have?
So one thing I've learned with these families, I've worked with a burial group at one of their projects. These people, they believe in generations. Africans, we believe in ourselves, me as me and my family. It is hard to talk with an African. He tells me, my wife, my car, my everything. The word my defines who that African is, most of them. But these other families, for them, we find they talk our. If he's doing a business, it's the family business, and they are always working hard to ensure there's transition to the next generation. You see, we see it even in our countries. Transition of even leaders has become a problem because we always think we are the best in this generation, and we forget that we cannot live long. So me, I tentatively believe in this philosophy that a family is a continuation of a lineage. You are not the best. You are just available at that time. God has given the opportunity to create a way for other people who are coming. So I believe that we should have a different philosophy and copy these families that are doing it in other tribes or maybe other nations, like the Indians, the way they preserve, the way they teach. We involve our kids in our businesses if you have them. If you have land, don't be selfish about land. There's no one who owns land. After buying a lot of it, after seeing people buy it, we just use land. That's why there is always a big page below the transfer area. That after you are done using it, someone else can utilize it. You transfer it to another person. So I believe that we should have a philosophy that builds our communities, starting from a family, for the next generations. Think about 100 years when you are not here, 200 years, will your family be there? Is what you are doing now going to keep your family for the next generation? Ask yourself questions. The kids I'm bringing out, their parents, what are you mentoring them? The business we are doing, are they going to be there if I'm gone? You answer those questions past your life. Then you start to have a philosophy that gives you a proper definition of what a good family would like. So whenever I'm thinking about my family, me, I see how I can transition and live values, and I live character, I live what they believe in that can sustain them past when I'm available. So the little time I'll be here on earth, I can do something that can help them outlive my legacy also. So meaning that the little time I'm here, I should have also the philosophy that I can build to better this place for the time I'm here. Then the other people are coming in the next lineage, they can also find something they can believe in and also start from there, and they also expand to the next centuries.
Okay. Now, something I've just realized is that if you want to have a successful family investment, you must have good leadership in the family. And we've gotten challenges in selecting leaders who are going to lead us during the investment period, whereby let me say in my culture, my African culture, the hair is the one to lead. But sometimes, yes, you may find this guy is knowledgeable enough to probably maybe push the family in the direction of investment. But at times you would find that there's someone in the family who has more knowledge of investment or of business, and is far better than the one who was given that responsibility by probably the late parent. What would be your view on such kind of a scenario? How do you select leaders to take on this journey of investment?
For leaders,
Mm.
now let me paint for you a scenario.
Mm.
When you're reading the Bible, there's
Mm.
somewhere it shows you that it shows you exactly how leaders come up. There are leaders that are born. There are leaders that are made. Some make themselves leaders. So from that direction, it clearly shows you it's not complicated. For example, a leader that is born, you will see as members of a family. Yeah, we are talking about family. There are some leaders that are born. You will feel it inside you. Even the anointing to be a leader will be on you, like you're born with it. Then there are leaders that they are made. They are made leaders because of training, because of what people go through, the challenges and what the training someone goes through, they can make you a leader.
Yes.
So if we looked at it that in that direction, it becomes easy for maybe to select a leader. And this transition is not it's not a vote. It is not a vote. You don't vote on it. It is an inheritance. You get it from the person who has been leading this family. And in Africa here, let me be Afrocentric. In Africa here, the leader is the father of the family. So when you're a father, among your children, you will select the heir. According to you as the father, you've been carrying the vision of the family and you want this vision to go to the next generation. You will choose someone you see that they have they understand your vision. You get it? So among the people you've had, your children, you choose among them. And this, why I'm saying that it is not something that is a vote or what. We have seen these things shift. Okay, you have seen. I'm a father. I have children. Children are different. The relationship, we love them all the same. You have this expectation inside you. You see yourself in them, but there are things that you see that okay, now this one will lead this to the next. So sometimes mistakes are done and people are chosen and they are not. But the legacy is in how you've chosen this person according to what is inside them and your vision and value for your family. And now who will carry on your legacy? So I look at it that way. Then like I've said, leaders, they are leaders that are trained to be leaders. So there's part of training. It is not, even if you're born a leader, you need to train, because there's a training. I even understand that okay, now if you go to the family system, how it is done in Africa, whereby at the top there is the king. You get it?
Yes,
so if you're born in a family and it's where the kings are selected, there's some training. So we should also look at it even if you're not in that of the kings. There's a training needed, preparation for this. And like all the big families we are talking about, you'll see that element of training in them. The big business families here, they know that now our kids need to carry on this. They are trained in that. Recently, I met a family of there are some Indians in town, but when you see the kids that are transacting business, that are doing their books of accounts, these are very young children, but you would ask yourself, why is that missing out? I think the idea of family, I think people need to come back to table and understand that it is just not enough to just select a person because at such and such a kind of time you're selecting is the person who is maybe made it at that moment. No, let that person be able to carry on the legacy of the family. Like engineer was explaining about philosophy and how it is built. I believe the core values of a family need to be put in when even these kids are still young. For example, like I can give an example. We are fathers. If you're a father in your home, there are things you don't do. When you are dressing your child, you tell him, for us, we don't do this. You get it? If you find other people doing it, like for example, you find a family and say, no, for us here, we kneel when we are greeting. You get it?
Yes.
So such it goes on generation and generation. You're not going to wake up and ask why. You get it? So such things, if we give them strength, I think they would take on this to the next level. They would keep that legacy going on, and most importantly, we are Africans. We have the blueprint of how our families need to run. I don't think we need even to borrow ideas from outside. If we just focused on what we had, Africa has the strongest bond in family. Families dying out there in the world. They are seeing this idea as, but it is one of the strongest that we should we should develop. So I see it that way.
That's true.
True. So, engineer, how can we choose our leaders in families?
You know, we Africans, we like positions. Like someone feels great when he's in certain position. Someone feels great when he's called an engineer. Like he wants a position. Like he wants to be there above other people. But that is not right in leadership. So, my tentative, what I believe, like he has said, one, I don't think leaders are people who are in positions. They're not that. Two, leaders are not people who are looking for followers or people who have followers. But like the Bible clearly states it, leaders are servants. If you are able to serve people, if you are here to make this world a better place, if you are here to preserve someone's life, if you are here to change someone's life, you're going to be a leader. I don't think I can describe a leader because he's a heir in our family. You know, they could have given him a position because he was born faster than me. You understand? But I can do a lot of service. If you have seen people who have changed countries, they have become heroes, not even heirs. Like Nelson Mandela. Even I don't know his brother, I don't know his sister, but I know this guy changed South Africa. He carried the burden for people when they were in apartheid. So he's a hero on the world level. You understand? So maybe if you discover that God has given the opportunity to serve humanity and you pour out all your potential, you help as many people as you can, we are going to call you a hero, regardless of the position you have and everything. So I don't see any limitation in someone attending a certain position, whether it's a president, whether it's a minister. That is a position he has given, maybe because someone knows him or he has maybe studied that. But there's something I can do as a human being where I am to serve someone to better his life or change his life. And that is the position I take leadership to be, service to other people. So I don't need any position to be regarded as a leader or to be regarded as someone who can transform the society.
From that, I've just realized also, because in Africa we say that women are supposed to just follow. But now I believe that also women can be leaders. True?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, in this investment journey, we've seen it that women are denied the chance of leading the investment project, investing like a family. Now, let's narrow down to a nuclear family where we are having a husband and wife. And in most cases, you find that the husband is the one who is investing like 100%. What would be your view of also a woman investing? Is it right? And they do it as a family, as husband and wife.
Yes. Now, that's a very good one. For for women,
Mm.
women in investment and what. Okay, I'm going to talk about our society,
Mm.
the way it is organized. Women have been brought up to be submissive, and that's where their strength is. But I don't think they are limited. I mean, I don't look at it that way. Though, what I would see it as, it's this. Let me look at the nuclear family as you've seen it. There's the man leading the family, and then the wife, and what. You realize that women, some women, not all, really not all, because I've met some successful women and have done very big things that even men can't do. But to zeroing down to some, I think some women fear to invest. They have left the decision to invest. They have left it to men, and like it fails to make the balance. The women have great potential because God has gifted them with a brain that can multitask. They are very good at that. But when it comes to investment, I don't know whether it is culture, I don't know whether it is the way they are brought up, but they have left this decision of investing to men. You get how I wish a lady comes up strong, because there are positions that are there that I know that ladies can handle. Even in our government right now, there are very many ladies that are doing great things that even maybe men have failed to handle, like the positions to handle an organization. So the question that I would always ask myself is, maybe why is it that now women have left the decision to invest to men? Because I see it as a limitation that doesn't create any balance, and it kills potential. For example, if for us men, we are supposed to empower them. Then but our society has made them to be in a position whereby there's a thinking that women just need to receive, be at the position where they just need to receive, yet they have potential. A lady right now can wake up and say, no, I'm because now about investment, as long as you do the principles, you become successful. There are things that have been put there, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you what, as long as you do the principles that have been put there, you really become successful. But now that vibe, let me call it that vibe, to say, as a woman, I'm making this decision that I'm investing for our family. And then another thing that women do, some who invest, they invest to look for freedom, of course. There is that men thing, but men, you can never, for such, which I don't think is it would be the best way to handle it. But most women invest to have freedom. You say, okay, if tomorrow things don't work out, this Mr. Guy changes, I'll go to my house that I've there. They don't even some don't even disclose what they are investing in. They do it in secret. And but I wouldn't see it that I wouldn't look at it that way. Women have that. We are in the same environment. They have the same energy. They can even do much better than men. Would be happy if the biggest real estate person is a woman. Can you imagine how things would change? There is still potential in women to change society. But some right now, they are still being limited. For example, okay, God forbid, if now a woman gets a man who is not visionary, and yet she's visionary, and now because of submission, she leaves the decision making to the man. You see how she gets stuck in her life. You get it. So me, I think the arena has been arranged with just the principles and patterns to make. You get it. saving, investing, making those investment decisions. We need ladies in this arena too. But it is not something that was meant for men, as some may look at it. So I look at it that way, that if these ladies left out that they break out of that cage and say, no, let even me as a lady, I can invest. It would change a lot. It would see many things coming up, because they also, I believe, they have they have great potential. They can impact the communities they are in.
What would be your take on that?
So, as I said, a lot of it, I've got like two things I've seen, and starts with how we build our family, and that thing of continuity.
Yes.
Because now the society we are in, usanga these people are married, right? These guys don't trust each other.
Yes.
Men, even women, even women, women. So they are all complaining on each other. I'm telling again. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. I have a client I know of. Because we are gamba, all his friends told him, that man of yours, the way he's making money, in the money you are making from the business, always steal and build your house for yourself. Many change. I'm telling you, many change. So this kind of mind told me, is like, when friends of mine continue telling me that thing, I saw it that men can change. And they had vivid examples of men who had what? Changed.
Yes.
In the course of making money. You know, like when men get more money, they change. So he had that philosophy put into her. So she went, she told me, she's like, I started saving money. I went to Kasokoso, bought some land, built a house. Actually, it was 2 houses. I started renting them, and she was earning her 2 million. Differently, the man is not aware, she's hiding. This is a secret. Men can change. So from the friends that advised her, men can change. So you do your personal what? Investment. Then she tells me that I met them when we were doing some million project. She tells me later, I was feeling guilty. I'm with this man I don't trust because I'm feeling bad. I get some money I'm earning from my investment. He's not aware. Sometimes I have money he doesn't have, but he doesn't know the source. And I cannot say the source. So it haunted her for 5 years. So time came, now he saw the man is not changing. Say the man I had is the same man I'm still having. Then they wanted to start a very much billion project. So they had to sit together, they planned to start a school. That's when I came in design and consultancy. They're doing one of the big schools. Then the man poured all the money had saved. He said, this is what we have. Let's plan as a family. I know I might not be here, but if you are here, you as my wife, you are the one who's going to take care of this investment I'm going to start. So you go and look for land. Then this man gave responsibility of looking for land, the responsibility for taking over the investment. She was the one in management. Then when she started, the man gave all his investments. This woman, she went at home and she started crying because of the guilt of what she was doing. The man was trusting her with the investment, and for the woman was not trusting the man because someone told her many change. So the man poured all the money to her. Then she started building the school. So when they finished, it is one of the big schools, of course, in Sonde. I cannot mention it, but it is there. When they finished building first floor, she was the one who was paying workers. All the money was from her. She felt guilty. So that's where money reached and it was very little. They couldn't finish. Then he went back crying to the man and told him, let me tell you some secret. That time you saw me when I was trying to save money, telling you that I'm building for my mother in the village. Actually, I was building a house in Kasokoso. I built 2 of them. So I was proposing, let's sell them effective from today. I bring all the sales which I pick there. I also contribute on the project, but I'm very sorry. I got the advice from these people and they built one of the biggest schools. The family now united to one direction and they built a multi-billion investment. So you can see how
Mm.
investment between a man and women usually fails. There's lack of trust.
Yeah.
It's where it starts. And I've seen a lot of examples in my career because I've been in this thing for 10 years and I've met men and women with different stories. So that is one of them. So you see, if there's a trust and there's one direction until the man got all his savings and gave it to her, that he saw that the man was not willing to change. And they have built one of the multi-billion projects. They have done one of the school that has changed the society. The school performed so well. And this woman usually says, I felt guilty all my life when I was having that 2 million coming in from my personal investment. And my husband was not aware. But when the guy came to me after 5-6 years of gathering all his investment, he gave it to me, and he says, if I'm not around, you are the one to take care of this property. So you see that thinking of giving them responsibility to take part in our investment, show them, to assure them that we are not going to change, because they're also part of right. I've also seen men who change, because I usually I've seen men when they get their money, they get those BMWs, then they get those brown ladies, and they forget the number one.
Brown thigh.
The brown thigh. Mkazi wa sente. The other time I didn't have enough money. I made wrong choices. So we have seen those also men who are there. But also we have seen those men who trust their wives. And I'm one of them, by the way. I trust my wife, and I tell her, if I'm not here, you are the one to take care of my kids. You are the one to take care of these investments we have. This is where my land titles are. You know, something like that. So I believe that it starts with trust. We as a family should have that trust. And we believe they can be part of us. They want that assurance as men. And also we should also give them the assurance so that they also come to us and they open up. Because also most women, they work in different direction, and also men, they work in different direction. So that is one of the stories of the client I handled with, and they are now successful. They are okay. The school has over how many buses? Each one has drives. The woman drives a V8, also a man drives a V8. They have a happy family. But the trust was the one that was killing the investment spirit in the woman. And she's the one having the school, and the other one remains in the other businesses that were there.
Engineer, I believe men not trusting women, sometimes it is because of the women's character. You know, during that course of courtship and what, you know, women have funny characters. And this man sees that if at all I'm to invest, I cannot trust this person with this investment. Women do very many mistakes during the course of investment, I believe.
Yes.
And I know you have different examples of such scenarios. What are some of the mistakes you've seen that women make really when they are going to invest? What are those examples of mistakes? You know, because they say umsajja sawa yonna akyuka, but at times I believe that it is because of the character of a woman. You know, some women are so extravagant, they waste a lot. Women have those cliques, so they follow friends' ideas and they invest in businesses that are not going to bring out what they would want. So what are some of those mistakes you've seen women do really make while investing?
I've seen a lot of examples, especially in this field, because you see, in our field of construction and investment and real estate, we access a lot of secrets of people. Those who go outside and they make money, those who want to invest, and they are open to you why they are taking such decisions. So one thing I've seen with women, one of the things that usually actually puts them off the grid is competition. You know, I've seen most women compete starting from the family level. You marry your wife, you know yourselves, because by the time you accept someone, you have known who he is, you know his capability financially, you know. Then when you get married, maybe your young sister gets a rich man, competition hits in. Women start competing with their siblings, you know. And now he starts seeing that the man he married is not the right person. It is where the source of everything has come. that you find that you have already in courtship or you have started marriage, but one of you, either party, I've seen it. If it is taken by the man that I didn't get the right person, or if it is taken by the woman that I didn't get the right person, that person who takes that decision or that brief faster takes a different route or movement. You know, either sometimes you have a kid at the table and you discover you're in a marriage whereby you didn't meet the right person. Why? One of your friends got the right person, and me, I've seen it with myself, you know, because me, I bought my wife a car, and everyone, all her sisters, they had temper. He tells his boyfriend, if you cannot do it like my elder sister did or my young sister did, please, you're not the right person. But he doesn't know that the rightness of a person, now I'm a different person. Me, the way I do my business, the way I believe in the family is different. So that competition has brought women to different direction. Then another thing which I saw, which is actually the recent one, now when women access finances, especially from family investment, they're overexcited and they want to prove a point.
True.
And in that, I've seen women make terrible mistakes. The recent one was this woman, the husband is out working outside. They worked and they saved some money. Of course, he has our podcast, the previous one, where we said that if you have cash, you are buying land, you are the king. She took that. And she's like, if I have cash, I'm the king. So the husband sends 50 million. Yeah, you know. So the husband works some money. He sends to the woman in Uganda and he sends her 50 million. And the woman starts looking for land. Now, this woman says, I want to be near the town. In the podcast, they were telling us there are those far plots, there are those ones, but it's 50 million. I have to be near. And she was proposing in Chirinya. So her mindset went into Chirinya. Then she gets a property, which property was almost like a 30 by 70. She's like, this is the property I want. It is surrounded by Karinas. I have to be here among great people. Excitement. You know? Now, this woman, she calls us, fortunately or unfortunately, and she asks, I've got a plot of 30 by 70 in Chirinya. It is having a land title of 50 million. I need it. And this is what I want. It is near the Karinas. It is near the town. I can move. Then we tell her, that plot is likely to be a fake land. How can a 30 by 70 have a land title? I love it. You know what? My husband has sent the money. I feel like she forgot.
That's by 70.
She forgot about being a king. So she's panicking. She wants to be great. Now she's given the first opportunity to invest, but now she's kuchamuka, panicking, doesn't want to consult and what. So she went and I told her, okay, you make the search. Because we told you that if the land is existing, make the search. She makes the search, the land does not exist on the portal. They had just created the Kubo and they were showing her, the photocopies were there, the plot number was there. And I asked her, didn't you hear what we told you? Don't panic. If you are starting investment.
Yeah.
And she was open to me. By the way, engineer, let me tell you something. This is the first 50 million I've ever got. Currently, the husband's going to kill me if I lost all this money. Thank you guys for always sharing to us. You guys, you see, the things are not easy. I've never got 50 million at a go. Even I'm here. This guy was going to kill me. He was going to steal me, you know. So she was given an opportunity to invest, but she didn't have the the woman did not have the knowledge of investment. You understand? So now this problem of this woman is excitement after getting the money and wanting to prove a point without research, without knowing a lot about maybe land, and she didn't have someone to help. But the husband had trusted her. So there are so many things women do in this course. And sometimes also men see and they say, something like that. So I tentatively believe that if we are in a relationship, let's understand ourselves, understand who we are, understand our financial situations, and we have a vision. You know, if you have a vision for your future, your husband might not afford this as of now, but he might afford in future, you know. You don't compete with the other people, don't compete with your siblings, don't compete with those people who are successful. You build a family and you give it time so that you have a proper direction. It can help to balance women versus men investing. If you're a unit, you can go into that direction. Like the other woman who had cried, the husband, they sold the 2 houses and they built an empire. Now they are billionaires. And whenever I meet them, I'm like, yeah, now this is a united what? Family.
For those of you who are looking for construction materials, please check on www.acbuildug.com. You'll get the best affordable construction materials for your site. You're looking for plans, you'll get everything, land, everything around real estate. Go check out www.acbuildug.com. Engineer, what would be your take on some of the mistakes that really women make?
One, I think let me look at it as mistakes, like you've said it, because the mistakes the woman can make, a man can also make. Now since you are talking about relationship, some of these mistakes that they are really caused by the gap in between most of the time. For example, I can paint for you a scenario whereby a man, you're growing, because look at a couple who have met each other at maybe the beginning stages, and now, like you have been talking about men get successful and forget, they try to change everything about their life. Some men, I'm not talking about all men.
Of men,
So the same way, I think, since a man, as you're the vision bearer of your family, you're the direction of them. When we are growing, let us grow with these women. For example, we have been talking about investment. You're a man there, you're watching this podcast, but you've not shared with your you get with your wife. She's going to be left out. She'll be left in the last year where you've left her when we started this podcast, and you're growing. I think being supportive to these ladies, to help them understand, like engineer was saying, if that lady had not watched this podcast, right now she would be crying. But she was saved by what we were sharing about leaving the panic out. You see, money is very different. If you've never held $1 million, the day you hold it, you run mad, literally. Because you have not been trained on how to handle it.
That's going to a mental shock.
Normally, and it happens a lot with us, with even the youth. You get little money there, you splash it, you do all things of the crazy, you comes out. People want positions, want to feel big, and one of the catalysts is money. So I think when it comes to women, the same mistakes they can do, a man can also do the same mistake. A woman, you can trust your man with this and this, and they do a mistake. I think this as a learning process, as people go through this. Me, when I'm growing, when I'm looking for this knowledge, and I know that now if tomorrow I'm not around, the things I'm investing in, my wife will be around. Expose her to that kind of knowledge. Let them understand how to invest, how you're doing. This thing of isolating, doing the things alone, it is the one that is affecting. Now, if for example, you've started getting money and you're not explaining to your wife how these things, what is the money for, where is it coming from? That's where that competition thing comes in. That's where that jealous thing comes in. You guy, you're getting this money, you're doing this for yourself, you're selfish, you're doing what, because we are not involving them. But if we involve them, it becomes easier. It becomes easy. If you've looked at, for example, if you've studied the way Indians are running their families and what, I wouldn't welcome it, but we would look and pick some things there, whereby they look at investment as a family. They look at it as a family. The ladies are involved. Well, I don't know how true this is, but I've had an Indian friend who the man goes out and works and brings back the money at home.
Yes.
The woman is the one who makes a decision
Of how to spend it.
of how you're going to spend that money.
Yes.
To the Indians, that's the way they do it. Like, that's what he showed me, like, when I was having a chat with him. So if there was that unity in the families, it removes that mistrust, people not trusting each other. They go to this and this, and as men, when we are growing and we are being blessed with this success, let's not grow alone.
Yes.
This money can neutralize everything. If tomorrow I have the capacity, I've bought a Porsche car, let not my wife be found in a funny Ramsey car. You get it?
Yes,
Let us grow together. When we remove that gap that has been created and we grow together, I think it becomes easy, rather than pointing fingers of, hey, you did this, I gave you this money, you wasted it, I gave you this, you did this. You get it? So if a lady doesn't have that knowledge of investing and what, even if you give all the money to her, she will not invest.
Yes.
And you as a man, yes, you have it, but now you're not around. So when these common mistakes are made, mostly, I think it is that gap that is in between that has been created. As a man, you've been exposed to knowledge and you've not shared it with your wife. So you create that gap, and if that gap wasn't there, maybe even in the decision, they get to know the direction you're taking. So you'll continue. We are going to continue hearing that phrase of men, but men. Even men will continue to say, but women, because we are on these different levels. If people are moving together, if people are empowering, all great men I know, they and great families, all of them, you see that empowerment. You see that you meet the wife and you get, you know the reason why they are great. And most of the time, for example, now when we come to investing and real estate, one of the reasons I've seen ladies make mistake is because, like I've said, that's a mistake a man can do. It's the knowledge gap most of the time. You've not researched. Like the lady we have saved in the podcast, if she listened to the podcast very well and say, okay, now step one, these guys are telling me, let me
By the
research.
way, she did research because she got saved.
Yeah,
The research she made. Yes.
Now her listening and doing what we were talking about, it helped her. Now the husband, I don't know where the husband was, but trusted and sent the money and trusted the wife. And now if she had not met this kind of understanding, the story would be different. Someone would have lost 50M out. She would be shocked. And imagine what it would do to their relationship. It would be a very tough thing. Yes. So if we move together, I believe we are all beings in this world that we are in the age of information. It is out there. Let's grow each other together. If we don't do that, as a man, you be rest assured you're going to reach this stage. You're so successful, but you don't see yourself in your wife.
Yes.
You don't see yourself in her, and if that happens, things are not going to be good. That's when you will see a man trying to get the posh woman. They think,
feels that
and you're doing this for nothing, because if you leave this woman and someone puts that money you're putting outside in them, you will be shocked. You get it. So I think if there's a balance between knowledge and understanding why we do things, it becomes very easy. It is not complicated. You don't get into those relationship mistakes that a woman can do, and you get let's involve them, let's teach them, let's learn together with them. You see, one good thing I know is that most of the time with your partner, there are areas you're strong and they are weak, and there are areas you're weak and they are strong. So when you combine this strength together, it makes a perfect unit, and it moves on.
I believe that most people, I normally call it mental sickness. When a family is trying to invest, you find in most cases some people are mentally sick. Not as mad, but they are mentally sick. These people are depressed. These people have gone through a lot of stuff. These people have family pressure. They are having a very big burden on them. Now, when it comes to investing, they tend to become a bit selfish when they are investing. What do you think a person who is in such a scenario? Because I've seen very many people who are depressed, especially the youth. They are depressed. They want to get things really fast. When you go to a family, it is worse. The woman is trying to do things, the man is trying to do things. Now he's having family pressures from the in-laws, from his family.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you give to such kind of a person who is in such a scenario where he's having a very big burden from the people around him? May it be a woman or a man. What advice would you give to such kind of a person?
So basically, one thing we have to accept, if you're a family, just first understand who you are. There are things we control, there are things we don't control. Anything that is outside my life, I can't control it. Me, I can't control the roads. I cannot change the government. It is beyond me. I cannot change my mother. Neither can I change my father. I cannot change my family. That's where I was born. So those are uncontrollables.
Yes.
But there's something I can change as me. So now, I cannot develop a depression from things I cannot change. If maybe my in-law gets rich, I have no control over it. He's either working, he's in government. You understand? I don't have what? Control over it. So if you are depressed, just first know what are the causes of the depression. Is it because I'm not doing the right thing? Is it because I've got a spirit of competition in me? Is it because I want to be what I am not? A friend of mine has bought maybe a Benz. And now you feel like you want to do it by the job you have really. You have to work for 20 years to buy a Benz. Don't be depressed. You don't have control over that, So let life be, and you do what you can handle. So the only issue I have is if there's something you're not doing as an individual, and then I say you must have a growth mindset. At least if you can improve on what you did last year, and for you evaluate your life, and you say that this year I have improved. May I usually talk with my wife and I tell him this is what we did last year financially. Some people don't have financial knowledge. This is how much money we made this year. This is how much we invested as a family. This is how we grew last year. And now this is how I'm budgeting to grow this year. You involve her, like you were saying. We get into a certain journey as a family. Openness. Like we want to go into a certain direction. We don't want to compete with anyone. We don't want to feel we are left behind, but we want to grow into a certain direction as a family. Because you might be growing slowly when you can be noticed in 10 years. When there are some people who are growing faster based on the source of income they have, based on the connections they have. Don't be depressed by things you don't control. If you understand yourself, because now I had this one of our viewers who called me, I think previously on the same podcast, and he's asking me, how can I change my life on investments? And we had a talk for some of the things I'm going to share. I told him, one, you have to understand your strengths. How good are you? What did you study as an individual? What are you going to change in this coming year? Then I give him a simple math. I told him, first calculate all the money you made last year, and you know the sources of that money last year. If you're working a job of 1 million, it means last year you got 12 million. Are we together? If your wife was not working and she was a stay-home mother, it means there was no income coming from her. Then this year, if you are going to enter working on the same job, getting 1 million, there's nothing that is going to change because there's nothing you have increased on your finances. Then I was telling her, instead of thinking of even on land, what if you say, let me empower her and we start some small business, we add some cash flow from her also. Because you have got someone who can do some work, she can start a small business for charcoal selling, something, then raise money. Then we know that this coming year we have increased from 1 million to at least 1.2 per month, meaning that maybe the 200 can cater for rent, where we are staying in a double room. Then we now start seeing as a family, how can we invest what we have saved? Maybe the 500 now goes to eating and movement and what? Then the 500 is reserved. Now at the end of this year, I would expect that view of ours to have at least 5 million savings. Then I told him, 5 million savings you have at the end of the year cannot even buy a plot. You got the other story of going to rivers looking for land. Then you say, what can I do to increase my income again? What if I start now some business and I train someone and put him there at 5 million, maybe popcorn business or mobile money, then I improve on my management skills. Because now you have a job, you have got a wife working, then you have added another extra business, then you are growing. You see, this year he had 12 million. This coming year he has got 14 million, but they have saved 5. They have eaten maybe 9. Then the next coming year they are now growing. In 10 years, if I meet this couple, it will be in a certain direction which is different, you know. Other than now, if they say now they want to compete this year to show that they are rich. Now the husband buys an iPhone, he buys also for the wife an iPhone, but the income remains the same. There's no improvement, no skills, no business added. They are going to be depressed. Yes, you put on good clothes, you want to show people you're okay. Now he runs very fast, he gets a loan for the car, you know, he wants to prove to the society that he's rich, but he's not growing financially. The internal part of it is not making it to the right direction. And that's what I was telling him. I was like, if you do that for me over 5 years, you are going to be going to the right direction. In the 5th year, you find you can afford a new car without stress when you can afford it. In the 5th year, you'll be buying that plot we are talking of, which has no issues. In the 5th year, you find your wife also is now enjoying the journey because now you are working as a team and you're going to a certain direction. So that is how I would say on depression. Let's see what we can control and we avoid things we don't control. Now that's what I was telling him about depression, that what he can control, he can increase on his financial income every year. He has control over it. He can take a decision, he can take actions, and he can be consistent over 5 years. And I think the government, the roads, the taxes, he has no control. Let him not be depressed. The relatives, whoever has bought a car, who is better than him, he has no control. Let him see inside himself so that he can be better and be a better person after 5 years.
What would be your take on such scenario?
Well, depression, I think Engineer has tackled a bit a side of it. But let me go on a personal level. Most of the time, people who are depressed, they are in a place of isolation. You get it? You get through this small issue. Okay, I'm not calling it small. You get through an issue, then it isolates you. If, for example, if maybe someone has made a big loss, you've gone to buy land, you've bought air. So now, what would be the healing process? First of all, you're shocked. After the shock, now, instead of going back, maybe this was family man and what coming back together to reorganize, you isolate. Yeah. By the way, one thing the devil can do is to separate you from people who will strengthen you. I've seen it even some of our friends.
Yes.
They go through problems that a mere talk can solve it, but they go into isolation. So when you isolate yourself, it will be you and your phone, maybe. I don't know now. Your phone will be the next thing to you. So you will be having this funny mindset that will come to you, and it will take you into deep depression. Most of the people who have gone through depression, you will see that it has stages. You come from this thing that has shocked you, then from that stage the shock comes in. After the shock, you start hating yourself, then you start separating yourself from people. When you reach that level, that separation from people, then it will take you deep into depression. Depression is in the mind. It is the mindset you have. It will lead you to give up. You start saying, now I've given up with life. You get it? And you just know, one of the things you need to understand is to learn. Me personally, we have tried, you see, in this investment journey, we have also made mistakes. You have made mistakes, but I can assure you, I can testify, there's a mistake we made. But if I had gone into that deal alone, I didn't have friends around, maybe the story would be different. But when I learned that if I engage with my people, making a mistake is not bad, but how you react to it will determine the outcome. I remember there's a time we went into a business. I will not tell you about what kind of business. The reason they are laughing is because they know it. Because now we're going to this thing, when you're in Kampala, there are deals.
Quick money.
I can tell you, in Kampala, even right now, there's someone in a deal. So even me, one time I was in the middle of a deal. I was looking at the end of it, and everything was going to be kawa. So I think on the day of transacting the deal, say, let me call my friend and inquire. Because this thing is I know it is very big for me. So in inquiry, in the fear of and inquiring, so my friend calls me, okay, come, we go through it and see. He had someone who knew about it. He had more information more than us. So we go through the dynamics. And then we made just one small mistake. There's some door we didn't check, a back door we didn't check. And now the deal, they hit us. But the hearing process was just one word. My friend said, you know what? They have stolen us.
Chill.
And that's when I answered, okay, now. I first didn't believe it. You get it? So when that same day I said, okay, now they have stolen us.
No guma.
Cut now. When my heart accepted, okay, now they have stolen us. Let's go work. We shall recover. And it was like that. Now just imagine if it was a different person and that person went into isolation. They went into what? Going into that deal, we had outsourced money from outside. We need to pay back. So you go into depression. You separate yourself, and this is happening everywhere, in all arenas. When you invest, there are those small mistakes. But may I believe that now, when you come out of that, you share this, and you will get help. Me, I was helped very quickly. Out of just a few words, I was like, okay, now this is not the end. But I can assure you, I'm a better person today. We learned our lessons. We learned to take things serious. We learned how to know when to trust and not to trust. There are areas, one of the things I learned is not to be emotional. Like even the scenario we have been talking about, the lady, maybe she was so so emotional. This broker who wanted to sell her that land, they had triggered the emotions and what. So she was making a decision basing on the emotions. So when you take away those emotions and you don't use them to make certain decisions in investment, don't invest in an area because maybe you feel good, you feel what
someone told you.
Money values don't change by feeling. Someone pronounces something and money changes. You
Someone
get
told you
So I learned that. So the depression that comes, if someone can really get to know it in that approach, avoid the separations, know that if you make a mistake, it is learn. One thing I've learned is that you are 100% in control of what is going to happen to you tomorrow. You don't have any control of the past. You don't have any. But what is going to happen in the future, it is you. So one of the ways to understand, to come out of depression, family depression, investment depressions and what, the more big issues you go through, the bigger you become.
That's true.
The more challenges you solve, the more one of the things that separate successful people is that they have had solutions to very big challenges. So when a challenge comes, it's not supposed to push you into depression. It is supposed to make you greater. You get you outgrow a thing and you become bigger. So one of the challenges I've seen with the depressions in family, this problem takes you into isolation. And when you isolate yourself, the enemy comes in your mind and they say you can't stand, you can't do what. Before you know it, some people even go to the worst case scenario and they hang. You get it? But why and for us this side will be like, okay, now why would you hang? You're not the first person to go through this. So people have gone through it. That means the solution is there, you're just not seeing it. So with family and investment and what, let's put feelings aside, because most of the time, by the way, when people are getting into relationships and what, the feeling drives it. But for us who are married, we understand that now I'm not relating with this person because of feeling. It is outside that. It's not what I feel. It's responsibility. So if people looked at it that way, maybe now me, I can assure I can't be depressed even if this world ended. You can't. You get why? Whatever problem can come to me, someone has gone through it. So I just need to know how that person went through it, and it would be fine. You get.
We have two scenarios. I have a friend.
Yes.
She's in the diaspora. She's trying to make out life, But one time we were talking, and she was like, because she was looking at it in a way that let her go, work, get some money, send it to the family members. They try to maybe invest for her or invest on her behalf. But at one point, she told me, I sent some money to go do some work. But when I sent it to my dad, she had sent some good money around. It was around 5 million, and she was like, the dad got 2 million. He paid for the brothers' school fees. Then the 3 million that had remained is what the dad used to invest, and what she was expecting as the returns is not what she got. And she was like, now, okay, I'm to blame because I trusted a family member. That's okay. Now, when she wanted to try out, maybe to outsource that service from other people who are maybe providing such services of maybe helping to invest for people in the diaspora who are in Dubai.
Yes.
That's when there was a certain story on media of someone who took almost 400 million from Kadamas and what. And now she got scared.
Yes.
Now she was like, naye kati omunaku alagewa. Omunaku alagewa because jembadde nzirukira,
Yeah.
there's no help.
Yeah.
At home,
Mm.
there's no one who I can trust.
Mm.
What advice could you give to such kind of a person who is in such a dilemma where he has failed to, to get the right person to help him or her invest? And most of the youth have gone into depression because of such things. I went and I worked all the money I was sending Smanga for my mom to invest. She was building her own house, or he was doing his own stuff. He bought a new car. It was the dad,
Yes.
and people go into depression over
Because
that.
of that.
Yes. So what advice would you give to such kind of a person on choosing the person or on choosing the property to invest in,
Yes.
and the strategy
Yes.
he should use
Yes.
to probably maybe manage that investment, much as is abroad,
Yes.
but he has to know how he is going to maybe try to play around with his businesses back here, this year 2025. What advice, engineer, would you give to such kind of a person?
One, I can be realistic to you that at least I've worked and made some money. But one thing that I would like to advise, actually many people are working. Life is not about money. The problem is most people when they go outside, they're looking for money. It's not what actually you are looking for. What you want, what is behind your heart, the real thing. You want to change a life. You want to change a situation. Embeera. Right? What you choose, like you want to change some situation, either in the family or something. So that's the reason that takes you outside. So there's something you feel is not okay in your country. You have tried to get a job, it is not anywhere. You have tried to push for some work, it's not anywhere. Some ladies look for work, people want to have sex with them. You have tried and you feel that your country is bogus. You say, let me go outside and change something in my country. So you say, let me go and try outside. And the only way you think you can change is by getting money. But the definition of money is very clear. Money is a medium of exchange. It means that you can exchange it to get what you want, which I think is a lifestyle you want to change. So most people, when they reach there, they start calculating how much money they are making and how they can invest it. What I believe is one, don't trust anyone. Not even me, not even your father. You trust God. Because he has given you potential to go and work, possibly believe he's going to give you all that morale when you are being tortured and everything. There are times which will be hard and all that. Since you have no one you are trusting, look for something that can help you keep your little money you have kept. I agree with most people. Get a bank account, put there the money. You put it there, you save it on a fixed account. For the 2 years you'll be there. Because now, for you, when you get money and you send it to Uganda, most of the time, remember you want to change your life. These people you are sending the money to don't understand what took you there. So their perception is they have brought 3 million. What problem is it solving in my life? They have brought 5 million. What can I use it in my life? This is what people have. Because they also want to change their lives now, So if you have gone with a mission, you want to gather money, I would say you set a goal. Maybe you want to do a business in Uganda, or you want to invest in real estate, or you want to build a house, something like that. If you go outside, do 2 things. First, grind. You be in that torture, be in everything, get a fixed account, keep your money there. Then do the second thing. You be researching. You be learning. Because they told me these people have free internet. You be studying what business you want to do in Uganda, or what thing can you do yourself when you're on ground that can change your life. For some people, actually, they send the money, and of course they utilize it not well. But even if I've seen also one of my friends is a lady who has come and failed to utilize the money when he's in the country. Actually, for her, she was even killed when she had the money in the bag.
Wow.
Then he reached here, he picked all the money. Maybe she had all the 5 million and she was passing through Banda streets. She didn't have where to stay. She didn't want any relative. And the thieves just tucked the bag, bet her up, and they took the money, Still, she didn't change the what? The life. But I know Verede, who made the money from outside. She came here, picked the money, and understood that the money she had got, which was 5 million, could not do a business in Kampala. And she opened up a business in Guru. And she is doing well. She has an electronics business in Guru. So she used the connections in Kampala and went to Guru, and she changed. That business is now where she's getting some little money, and she's changing her family, So you understand? Those are three ladies who have got through depression, but the approach has been what? Different, So let's understand what took us there. If you trust nobody, keep the money. If you reach here, look for what you want to do and you do it. Because we don't know what took you there also. When us tusindikiranga fete tumanyi, we are going to also change our lives. And there's no one who understands that you are struggling. That's what I was saying. When you are struggling, it is you. That's why sometimes when you're in isolation, you are alone there. When someone sends money here, I don't know that you are struggling. So long as it is money, it's a medium. I can spend it, So keep the money on the account, trust the bank. Maybe possibly you come here, then you spend it yourself, maybe possibly be happy, because we have also seen those who have failed to utilize it when they have come. Then we have seen those who have been able to utilize it. Then we have seen those who think when they work so hard, the only thing they can do is to build the house for their mother. You saw the other lady the last time there who thought that the only thing he can do is to buy a car for the mother, and the mother was happy. So that's what she defined as success, But now when you come and you want maybe cash flow, then you will look for people who can help you. You now have to know how to start a business and do whatever you want. That's what I can maybe advise your friend about. That.
But I think Eugene, I've seen you help someone who is in Dubai probably to invest, because on the handover ceremony,
Yes.
I was there and I witnessed you handing over the house. And I remember you were telling me a story how you met this person and you built the house without ever meeting him to
Yes.
completion. And I was so surprised. I was like, man, this nigga really, he has done it. From abroad, he trusted this person who he has never met.
Yes.
And now this person did the work for him. And I believe there are such kind of people, who are still there. There are people who really stand on their word
Yes.
when it comes to maybe investing, helping out such kind of people. But now, how can someone select? And it's like, if I'm having a variety of people, how can I get to know that this person, I can trust this one, or I can't trust this person or the other?
The client I helped, for him, he did rentals in Mukono. Now we are putting them on markets. His desire, he was like, the way I can change my life is through real estate. His purpose was very clear, that he wanted to be into real estate. There are people who are good here. We have seen Wakalwa talk about real estate, how he went and worked outside, saved the money and came invested here. So there are people, when they reach there, they work, they get the real purpose, and they get people trusted. We are there, ActBuild, we can do that. We do plans, we help those clients, we are trusted, we are online. You can order plan now on our website, www.actbuild.ug, and you find everything there, and you get even a plan when you are outside. But there's those ones who don't get money that can reach that investment muscle. And actually, most people, if you listen to their stories, there are people who make 5 million and below. That money does not change life significantly. So they usually want someone. That's why I usually want to teach those people more about business. I feel like if these people could learn about management and business and increasing income, they know that that's just capital. I can help them through that journey, because now if you send 5 million, even if you send it to me, I can assure you, I cannot even get a plot of land which has land title, Now, whenever you send that money, even I told that client of mine, that whenever you have that caliber of money, usually find that you land on border people who like to buy borders to change their lives. That's why you find you send 5 million someone, nagula border million satu, emuchifunza ateka kuchi ku project yo, something like that. So those people, they have to be enhanced to understand more things about finance, management, and how to increase income. To know that if they have gone to suffer, they have gone to get capital. When they reach here, maybe they learn more about business, then they learn more about investment, then they learn more of getting more muscle. They can get that muscle of building something that can go to 100 million or 200 million, like that client of mine. So basically, that's my take.
What would be your take?
Yeah, my take won't be very different from what engineers said, but I'll just let me send this out as a warning and like to open some people's eyes up. If you send your money, you're working in diaspora and you're sending your money maybe to your family member, to your mother in the village, may I support your mother to even use that money? 100%. Now, most of the time, we understand when you're going to work in diaspora, let's know what the purpose, like engineer was saying. Understand why you've gone there, know, and then count the cost. Count the cost, know how much it will take to do a thing. Most of the people who have gotten into challenges, mainly with family members, it's because I can paint for you a scenario. Now, if family is not doing well back home, and you go and you start working and you send money back home, they are not going to build your house when the old woman is dying on bed and money is there. You get it?
Yeah.
You get it? So the way of the problems this side where they are sending the money it's a bit different. And then for those who don't count the cost, you're going to go there and you work because you didn't count the cost. You think your money can do something, yet it can't. Yeah, we are in real estate, we are in construction, we are in this planning thing and what. One of the things that has held projects is not knowing how much it can cost.
Yes.
You've met very many buildings that are not yet done because the owners didn't get the right amount, and maybe you got support finance from somewhere else, but the figure you got can't complete your house. It can also happen to someone in diaspora. You think, okay, I've gone to work because I have a what, I need to build a house, but honestly, a 3-bedroom house in Uganda that is finished, water, turnkey, everything is there, may it cost you about 250 M. Complete. So now if okay, ideal, okay, let's say in the village still 150 would go down, 50 M. So now if you don't go deep into knowing how much it will cost and how much it will take, you will get depressed after sending your 50 M and you think you're going to come back home in December and find a finished house. By the way, it is very heartbreaking. I've seen stories. People build very little things called houses for people in diaspora. Just because they didn't you've sent 50 M, you've put enough pressure on your uncles, cousins and what at home to use that 50 M to build you a 2-bedroom house. But honestly, it can't. You get it?
Do for a boys' quarter.
They do a boys' quarter, some do. Yeah. You see a house and you're like, oh God. Okay. But let's count the cost. I know a couple who have been successful and they went to Arab nations and they worked and they collected money together and invested this side. They first went I think they have a contract of what period. They went the first period, they made the money, they were saving it, they came back in the country and discovered the money wasn't enough. They went back for another contract, they worked and made the money, and then came back and then started investing in petrol stations. They wanted to make a petrol station. They made a petrol station and it is making them money right now. So they had to get that capital and kept it. So let's be out of this
Excitement.
this excitement and what
Yeah.
most of the people out there, they like engineers said, they are earning less than 5M. This money is capital. It is we have just started.
can't invest
You
it.
can't invest
Still in
it.
baby steps.
When you're the other side, even the value for money tells lies to some. Okay, if you've not transacted in another currency, when you get to transact there, you may think you have a lot of money. Like right now, if someone gave you 10K of USD, you may feel you have a lot.
Yes.
And what it causes, your spending appetite grows.
Yes.
Thinking, oh, now this is money that has just changed in
Ndi mubede.
kanisa zino omuntu akuwa $50 eza dollar, you feel okay now. I have money. You may have like 17 something
Or 18
M,
something.
17 18 M on you. But I don't know why, so to some the spending appetite grows and they feel
Yagala
I
motoka
still
ya luxury.
I have some money to spend. So I think let's save this money. If you can't save it in fixed, there you need trust. There are things there that you can save money in. There are companies that have programs where you can save. You can save your money. They even give you profit. So it's all about saving this capital when it accumulates to what your vision can start.
Yes.
You go and you start. But if you're sending money to relatives, you're sending money to the old woman in the village and you left her and she was not doing well, I'm one of the people who will support her to
Use
better her life a bit. Because now you imagine you're a woman, you have a son, you've got an advantage. This son has gone to Dubai to hustle. I'm not saying they do this, but life will cause them to do it. This son is sending 1M per month, maybe to start a piggery project, which is good. But you also have issues. The cow is sick. You get it? The what is lacking. So they end up spending that money. And I don't think your parent would wish to spend your money, but it is the situation they are
that
in.
forces them to use it.
Yeah, so if someone is really, he has set his vision and say, I'm going out to do these contracts and I want to start a business. Let it be that way. Save this money. No one is going to take your money on your account. It is in your names. And then when you come this side, you've made enough research, you've acquired enough knowledge, you have a bit of understanding, you have people doing that same thing you want to do. You can do the right thing. That's the advice I can give to your friend. Count the cost, save this money, come back, invest right. It will work out. Make a mistake, trust your family, trust your friend, trust me, and you send me your money. For us, we shall enjoy. Then we shall tuja kuoza later. But on a serious note, it is better when someone saves. You save. Because it is the same formula we are also using this side.
Yes.
I'll get money, save it, get capital, invest it so that I multiply it. Yeah, it doesn't change whether you go where or.
Wow. I feel like we still have a lot to discuss about finance and investments with family and what.
Yes.
But with the interest of time, Omuganda agamba ebiwuma bigwa byokya. So that's it for today. For those of you who are there, you are interested in business, finance, and real estate investment, please just be on this page. For the next episode, we are going to digest and get into deeper details of investing, finance, and other sectors that around those topics. And for those of you who are looking for construction materials, remember the right place for you is acbuildug.com. If you're looking for a construction plan, structural architectures, everything around construction materials, we go to bars from trusted suppliers from trusted manufacturers, the right place for you is actbuildug.com. Same time, same place, next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. And if you're there, you were interested in what we've discussed today, please, that bell button, it's yours. You can take it.